All right. Welcome, guys, and now I'm going to talk about the overview of the TI-inspired calculator from Texas Instruments. Now, this is going to be our calculator from now on in our pre-calculus class because in your calculus A, B, and BC next year, you're also going to be using this calculator and even beyond into your college years. Now, let's go to the next part here. Let's now understand the three keyboard sections that's present on the calculator. The first one are the navigation keys. This is really important because these buttons right here will help you navigate through the interface easily and very simple. So the next one will be the numeric keys. For the numeric keys, this is the basic calculator keypad that you know. You're going to be using this a lot. So most of the operations that we do, inputting any number or any value, will come from the numeric keypad. And the next one will be the alphabetic. The alphabetic has a lot of functions, like assigning a variable, and we will get to a lot of those information going forward. Now that's the alphabetic keyboard. Now let's go to the next one, which is the touchpad. Now let's break it down. From the touchpad is one of the most important part of the Ti-Nspire because there's no other way for you to navigate the interface without it. So there are two ways for you to navigate it. First is the directional pad, which is the up, down, left, right. Okay, basic stuff. The next one will be the touchpad. Now sometimes if you don't want to use the directional pad, or there's too much scrolling, or there's too much selection going on, and you want to get to your function, or you want to get to your option real quick, you can use the touchpad. Just touch it and there's a cursor that's going to appear, and it's going to allow you to point into the thing that you want to select, and that's how you basically navigate the interface. Now the next one will be the click part, which is the center over there. If your cursor is at the place or the icon or the option that you prefer, you can just click on it and it's going to activate for you. Now this calculator right here has computer-like keys. Now for the computer-like keys, we use this for a lot of functionality. Now for the first one, we have the escape key. The escape key will, of course, be the usually the back button or the cancel button that you use for inputting operations or doing some stuff on the calculator. The next one is the scratch pad. Now, if you want to have a real quick operation, a real quick computational task, you do the scratch pad. The tab bar, sometimes on the screen, if you see any tabs, actually, if you want to expose or you want to uncover some of the options that's present in the current operation or function you're doing, you press the tab bar and it's going to show you some options. The control key, this exposes some secondary functions that are printed in blue, as you can see on your calculator. If you press the control first, then click on one of those buttons that has a blue text on it, it will allow you to use those functions. For example, if you go to x squared, if you control x squared, it's going to give you the square root, something like that. The next is home. Now the home button is also the on and off button. So first, you turn this on, you hold it for a few seconds, then it's going to turn on for you. Easy stuff. Now, if you need to go back home real quick into the main menu, you just have to click it. Now, the dock option or the document option allows you to, it's like a word processor or one of the usual Windows application. You can use the dock to expose some of the options and tools that you need. Like, for example, you want to save your document or you want to save your work, you can do that. Menu is very similar. It allows you to see the different kinds of menus that you can select to do an operation. So that's basically the computer-like keys. This in itself renders the calculator a very powerful tool, especially for students and scientists and mathematicians. So next part over here is the backspace. Easy stuff. We know what this is. It's the delete key. If you make a mistake, you want to go back, just press it, then do it all over again. The shift key is a different kind of key similar to the control key. It allows you to expose different kinds of functions on the calculator. Now, for the next one, the trigonometry key or the trigonometric key. When you do this, you're gonna be shown a lot of the trigonometric functions that we have, especially for pre-calculus and calculus. You're gonna do this a lot. Clicking on it will show you the different functions from sine to cotangent, and that's really good because basics wise, this is really, really important. Next one is the relational key. When you see a relational key, this is basically the operation that you need to use depending on what you want. Because in here, you can use it to solve, or you can perform inequalities here, or some other functions. That's the relational key. If you want to find these symbols, you can do it there. Next part is the math templates. The math templates here, it's actually very nice because they're arranged in such a way that they give an idea what you need to do. For example, basic fraction is over here. There's a basic exponent. There's a basic exponential, even up to limits and integral calculus, even with the limits in place. It's so handy, especially if you need to do a quick computation. Next is the punctuation. Sometimes you might need these to do some operations. There's the degrees there for the students who are still having a hard time finding the degree. It's there. Just go to punctuation 1, and that's how you do it. Then the next one will be the different kind of slides, as I will show for you over here. So number 1 is the touchpad. Number 2 is the click or grab. Oh yeah, that's something I forgot to mention earlier. Like, you can also drag and drop, or in this case, a grab. So you can just click on it, hold it, then drag it somewhere else if you need to. The third is the home button. Okay. Number 4 is the document tools or add page. You can do that. Next page, for that you do control right directional. It's going to take you to the next page. The menu is the context menu. It's going to give you some information about the document you're trying to edit or you're trying to do operations on. Number 7 is the tab key. Number 8 is the previous page. Similar to the next page, number 5, you can just do control left click, then that's it. Scratchpad or save, you can do that too. If you want to save it quickly without going to the document or menu, you can just do control and scratchpad. It's gonna save automatically for you, and you can also do undo. Control escape will undo your current operation for you, especially if you made a mistake. That's really handy. So for the simple Ti-Nspire structure over here, if you go there, you can actually manage documents in this. This is really handy because the Ti-Nspire has a bit of a memory in it. Now, if you have that, if you have some documents that you would like to access again, for example, you have a project, you can do that. You can just save it in the documents folder, and you're set to go. Now the next is it contains the documents also contains problems. You can put some of your notes actually, or some of your work in here if you need to look at it real quick. So that's cool. So next part, let's see another one. The problems can contain pages over here. Like for example, in this one, there's a problem, and it contains some visual keys to what you're gonna do there. That's cool. So the next part will be it contains apps too. Now, for example, if you open a document, you can also add a calculator in there. Now that's really handy because sometimes when you're doing graphs or doing different kinds of operations or processes, you might need a calculator in there, which is usually always. So the apps are menu driven. So again, that's going to be a thing that you will discover once we practice the Ti-Nspire calculator. Now, if you can see this picture at the left over here, you can see that there are different types of functions or different types of menus or apps in there. You can use them to help you with anything. For example, a graph. If you want to quickly graph a function, then you can do so, and you can just graph a normal function, a parametric one, polar, until a differential equation, which is really cool. It's really handy. So for the apps, you have the Notes app. You can also do notes in here, like for well, personally, it can get a little bit slow because of the arrangement of the alphabetical keyboard. It's not QWERTY, so it could be a little bit of a learning curve, especially if you're used to the QWERTY keyboard. Now, for the apps, you can also have a calculator in there. This is the usual one that people use, especially for quick calculations. Now, for the next one, you have graphs. This can really show you what you need to see. For example, if you are asked to graph a sinusoidal wave, you can do so here, or you can even find the minimum maximum, depends on the kinds of functions, which will be expanded during our pre-calculus class. Next is the geometry geometry app. The geometry app allows you to draw geometry on a certain space. Like in this case, it's a triangle ABC, which is a really cool function if you want to do something like that. Next, you have something like a spreadsheet. This is great for statistics and plotting data. That's good. You can use this to plot scatter plots, and you can use this to triangulate data. And we have the Vernier Data Quest, which is a more interactive version of the spreadsheet that allows you to, use this tool for statistical purposes. Now, next will be the different types over here, so you can see them. Like for example, there's a table right here showing the different kinds of points that you can find inside in this case a parabola, which is really neat. So the multiple ways to access tools when using computer software, these are often multiple ways to access the features of the software. Okay, so those are also applicable if you're using Windows or Mac. Sometimes to make things easier, you just use keyboard shortcuts. Now, you can also do this with the Ti-Nspire. Like for example, the classic Control-Z or the Control-Escape will give you undo, and Control-Y will give you a redo, just like Windows. Control-X is cut, Control-C is copy, and so on. You can see it over here. These are the most basic keyboard shortcuts, and you can also use them the same way for your Ti-Nspire. So no need to relearn any other different combinations because it's already there, so which is convenience. So the next one will be, do not hold down the control key. So that's another good thing to know here. Just click it, tap it, then use two separate key presses. So you'll see this when you do it. Then when in doubt, try it. So the calculator, of course, it could be a very new thing for everyone to try out. So if you encounter, say, a problem or a different kind of computation and you make a mistake, you can just use the keyboard shortcut and you'll see what it's about. And you can totally see what's the effect of your input, the keyboard shortcut. Now there. So let's get started. Turn on, if you have the Ti-Nspire, hold on to that home button and type away. Welcome to math.